All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, dude, my throat is in. I don't know what is wrong with my throat, bro. At first, I thought, and this has been back and forth, but I'm here. But that's why I'm starting late. I had to find some cough drops. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time today. We have jobless claims, unemployment filings. Today we have the Fomc meeting, so it's actually a huge day. Let me get some music playing. There we go. Nvidia at 144.30s. We got the SPY sitting under 600. NASDAQ under 22,000, but just recently broke over that, or underneath that, I mean, in the last hour and a half. Stuff's going on overseas again. If we take a look at oil prices are up to almost $74 a barrel. We can take a look at gold as well. Gold prices are currently sitting at 3,400. Yeah, what's very strange about this throat thing, I really don't know what it is. I got my tonsils taken out when I was young. The only thing I can think of it being is strep throat. I got my tonsils taken out when I was young. But this feels weird. Like this feels strange. I've had it off and on for the last 2 weeks. I thought I just got choked a little bit too much at jiu-jitsu is really what I thought it was. But over the last 24 hours, it's gotten way worse to where, like, last night, it was hard for me to sleep. I woke up over and over again because it was hard for me to, like, swallow. Like, it's hard for me to swallow anything, and it's just not fun. I don't know what this is. Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me. Yeah, it could be strep. But I don't have a fever, though. I don't feel like I'm, like, outside of the sore throat, I don't feel like I'm sick. But the sore throat is so bad. I don't know what this is, you know. And, like, it's really weird. My wife and I went to the movies. Like, we went and saw the How to Train Your Dragon movie the other day. And, like, I had to, like, we went to one of those movies that, like, serve you food. They serve you food. So you order your food, they bring it back. I had a really weird interaction. Like, one of the girls there came up to me to check on my order. And I thought it was strange. And she was just like, sup. Like, S-U-P. And I didn't say anything about it or get weird with her. I was just like, hey, you know. I told her thank you, you know. I was like, hey, can I order this now? And she was like, yeah. And then that's it. But I thought her interacting with me in that way was strange. And then after I ate whatever that was, now my throat hurts. But my throat kind of hurt afterwards, so maybe I'm just paranoid. Oh, I'm streaming today for sure. Movie was alright. Yeah, we're not adjusting rates today. We're not going to be adjusting rates today. We're going to be pausing rates almost certainly. NASDAQ is down, though. I mean, we have uncertainty overseas in conflict stuff. Like, that's definitely going on. Yeah, just really strange. Really strange. But I'm okay. Yeah, so Coinbase is seeking U.S. SEC approval to offer blockchain-based stocks. So we had some of that news come out. And again, today we have jobless claims, unemployment filings going live. All right, so CNB's Quebec. Says CNB may have to refrain from lowering interest rates any further. It's a Czech national bank. I had to look it up. Mortgages showed up today. We did have mortgage rates show up lower. 30-year mortgage rate showed up at 6.84%. 6.84%. There's the data right there. If we take a look at bond yields this morning. Bond yields are down, showing lower interest rate sentiment with all the weak stuff going on. Bond yields are currently under 4.4%. They're at 4.37, 4.38% if you round up. If we take a look at the CME Group likelihood of rate decisions, we're still at 99.9 to 1. A little bit worse than yesterday even. So 99.9 to 1 likelihood of a pause today in a few hours. The fifth, what do you mean? Does what mean the Fed is less likely to cut rates? High inflation data and strong economic reports mean the Fed is less likely to cut rates. If you're talking about the mortgage rate, yeah, kind of, but it's pretty nuanced. Let's do a poll. Are you bullish or bearish on today's FOMC meeting? All right, so some makers of Bitcoin mining machines that are mostly from China are setting up manufacturing footholds in the U.S. as the president's tariff battle reshapes the crypto supply chain. Bitmain, Canaan, and MicroBT are setting up shop in the U.S. Starting to rebound back up. We got the 200 exponential and 22,000 right here. I really do think we're going to trend sideways, though. Maybe jobless claims might influence things. We'll see. It's 99.9% likelihood of a pause. So there's a chance of a cut, but it's point. What's the percentage? Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah, there's 0.01% chance of a pause or a cut. I mean, there's 0.01% chance of a cut today. So it's basically not freaking happening, but it could, I guess. We'll see. Dude, my throat hurts so bad, dude. All right, so the UK government expects tariff arrangements with US on cars and aerospace to come into force by the end of this month. So we do have that news dropping. That's all optimistic and stuff, but today is a day of unknown. So if bonds are down, stocks will be up. It's not always a perfect science. Like it's not always perfect, but somewhat yes. Like bonds are seen as risk-off assets, and so if bonds are down, that means yields are higher, and so the market also doesn't want the market also wants rate cuts, so it's a little bit more nuanced than. Like higher yields on treasury bonds can actually make stocks less attractive, especially high growth tech stuff. Investors can earn more risk-free return in bonds. So like if yields are good, people aren't going to buy stocks as much. So it's not, bonds being down doesn't always make stocks go up. It can sometimes be the opposite. But it's nuanced. It's very nuanced. But bonds are seen as risk-off assets because it's guaranteed returns. What's up, B? Lee? All right, guys. So gold is up to 3,400s. SPY's under 598s. Part of me wants to short a little bit. I might short some here. Ooh. We might short a little bit here. We'll see. I can start one micro contract here. And then maybe add into it. All right, we got two micro contracts, so it's very small, but I'm going to let it work. Maybe add up to 4. Let's see how it goes. We had a Nucor NUE expects Q2 earnings of 2.55 to 2.65 a share. Yeah, we're only about 13 ticks away from 22,000 on the NASDAQ. You can also see kind of the SPY is under 600s. NVIDIA's pushing up, though, so if NVIDIA continues its rebound, it might rebound other stuff, too. Jobless claims are at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time today, though, so just be ready. Speaking of this, let me maybe edit this a little bit. All right, so we're going to add, like I said, 2 more contracts to this. We did make a little bit yesterday, I think. I have to go look, but nice. Just took half off. Took another piece off here. Lock it in. Gonna add a little bit more to this. All right, so we just scalped a little bit, build up a little cushion here. I'm gonna switch this over. We get a little bounce, we'll short this too. I like this rejection. All right, look at that big dip. I wanted to buy it to short a little pop too, but that's all right. Yeah, we got jobless claims, unemployment filings at 8:30. Look, here's a little bounce. I might short this. All right, so we took two. We'll add a little bit more to this too. I haven't even, you know, I don't feel good. I didn't even drink coffee right now. Like, I have coffee. I don't even have an urge to sip it. Ooh. Meetings at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It might be in the title. It's not that I won't. It's that I probably will later. I have cough drops right now that I'm using. All right, so we got 4 contracts now and a little cushion. All right, now we have 6. All right, we're about flat. This is a combine. We switched to a challenge account, by the way. That's why we're taking a larger size here, just to clarify. All right, so there's 15. I don't know if I want to add any more to this. I like it. I just don't know if I want to add to it. I think I'm just going to sit tight. Like, do you guys think we range sideways today, or what do you guys think we do? All right, so we're down. This is a challenge account, by the way, so we're taking a little bit more risk than we normally do. Nvidia's starting to rise, but I want to give it time. We're honestly not down that much on 50 mic. We're down like $60. $80. Now we're down like 150 here. We're up about 800 already on this account, so that's why we're taking a little bit larger risk. I don't really add like this if it's on a regular account though, but we'll try. And then if we break the high of this candle, we'll just cut it quick. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this now. We tried. We're still up. What are we up on this account? We're up 5 something on this account still. I just wanted to see if Nvidia turned, but I guess we just didn't get it. We could also wait and maybe hit 22,000 when we get it. But if we get up here, we'll probably try shorting again. Sideways until the end of the day. Sideways, but a dip around 11:30. Yeah, maybe. All right, we're going to try adding back up here, and we'll add up to maybe 30. We tapped the level we wanted, which is 22,000. But it just kind of kept on ripping. Let's see if we reject now. Yikes. All right, there's 30 like we said. But it's not looking good for me in this one. Okay, well, now we're down a little bit, but it's all right. What a huge candle. Just bad luck. I don't know if it's bad luck or maybe I was stubborn with it, but excuse me, guys. All right. But again, it's a challenge account. If we fail, it's not the end of the world. It's $50, so we can take a little bit. We take much more risk on that thing than we do. We'll put back our funded account here, and we'll see how this thing goes. We're great on our funded account. Just the challenge account, we played a little bit too of a risky game with. All right, so we're right at 22,000 again, though. This is a 22,000 level. Yeah, we're going to pause today. I mean, you shouldn't even argue about this, to be honest, because, like, it's almost certain that we're going to pause. Why is the market ripping up all of a sudden? I got to look and see if there's any news. What a huge strength of movement coming in now. Nvidia rip it up, SPY rip it up. Maybe it's Apple driven here. Apple at 196. AMD is up to almost 130s. Google's pushing up a little bit. Amazon's kind of flat though. Meta. This has got to be somewhat catalyst driven. I just don't see what the news is that's driving it. Look at the SPY rips if something happened. Bitcoin jump as well. Where's Bitcoin at this morning? Oil is at 73.20, so oil's going down a little bit. Maybe some stability stuff is possible. It's definitely possible. Maybe like more stable environment overseas or something like that. But Bitcoin sitting at 104s. Let's pop it up a little bit though. Yeah, I gotta use different orders. These limit orders just don't work well. So we're over 22,000, which is a good sign. I don't see any big breaking news either. Defense stocks. Defense stocks are like RTX, Boeing, a little bit, Lockheed Martin. They're down short term. So it looks like some type of stable. Maybe that could be what it is, pawn, what you just sent me, but gold's also spiking up right now, though. So we've had what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 15 minutes of just really strong pressure on the upside. Let's see if it holds. I'm trying to see what music this is. Okay. All state catastrophe losses came in at 777 million. So here's this level holding. Here's gold. Gold at 34s. I'm going to put a timer up for jobless claims. You hear that cough I got? It's weird. All right, so here's a timer. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. QE or something. I don't think he's doing QE. I don't know. I think QE is a dovish thing, Pulse. So quantitative easing is a dovish, action. So like quantitative easing is a loose, less restrictive, dovish action. QT is a hawkish, restrictive action. Now, I don't think it'll be good if he announces QE. I think it would be kind of strange. I mean, he might do it as like a hedge, but if he does QE, I think it'll be a little strange because I think QE is a more desperate thing. So I think he would just straight up cut rates before he did QE personally, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, sorry. AI is helping me with my throat right now. All right, so we got this dip. If we dip down to 22, maybe we'll buy it. But I think we could also chop today. We got the FOMC meeting. We got jobless claims unemployment filings going live at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. You can see the timer counting that down in 34 minutes. Waiting for silver to hit 60 an ounce, maybe. I mean, gold right now is at 3,400. The halfway mark for gold to 5K would be 25, so it's at 35 right now. So, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be 100% gain. It might be like a 70% or whatever that is. And honestly, gold is going to depend on the conflict stuff going on. $300 million humanoid robots by 2050. I don't know. See, but I was kind of feeling bad on vacation. All right, so we got some stuff going on about a cabinet meeting in the Middle East. We'll hold a meeting this evening against the backdrop of the possibility of U.S. participation. All right, so we're right back down to that 22,000. I'm going to try to buy this, although it's a little sketchy, but we're in the another excuse me, another challenge account. I just want to see if we bounce at 22K. I might add a little bit back at it, but I'm trying to wait. All right, it's time to sip my coffee for the first time today. Let's see if this helps me. Oh. I don't know if it helps, but it tastes good. All right, so we're trying to buy this 22,000 level, this 22.4 level that we have. But I want to see if it bounces back here. All right, we're going to try to add right back here. There's 50. We're going to take our swing and just try to swing for the fences in this thing, see if it goes. Here we go. That's good. Take a little bit off here. Try to hold the rest close to break even, but I'd rather it not. I'd rather it rebound back up and continue higher than 22.25. All right, we reduced it to 20. Took some profit there and reduced it to 20. That way we could just be really loose with it and let it run. Hopefully. Weird. The market's coming all the way back down. I guess choppy range makes sense. It's right at 22,000 though. We'll let it test 22K. But honestly, the market's being a little difficult this morning. Is decision spelled? Oh yeah, I see it. There you go. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we got jobless claims, unemployment filings. In 30 minutes, Steel Dynamics posted EPS of $2 to 204. They expected 265. That's kind of bad for Steel Dynamics, which is STLD. All right, we only have 10 contracts, micro contracts left here. And I'm trying to let it test 22,000 to see if it rebounds back up, but there it goes. Looking at our poll numbers, we did a poll. 58% think bullish today, 42% are bearish on our poll. Gonna slowly add back here. The range is pretty small. Gold's still bouncing back. Look at gold. Gold over 3,400 still. SPY looks like it wants to come back, but we'll see. Prudential unit lends $500 million in private credit to a firm, AFRM, according to the Wall Street Journal. Like, we're using this 22,000 level as a risk in a challenge combine account. So if we fail this, it's not the end of the world. But that's why we're taking larger size at 22,000, big psychological level. If we cleanly break under that, we'll cut this and be mostly flat on the day on this account. But I'm trying to be patient. I want to see if it pops back. I'm bearish but biased. Grabbed a couple of cheap SPY puts. Tesla this week near the peak Monday. Hey, good job. Okay, so we just had some conflict news come out. And yeah, so now we're down. It says on the conflict, the movement right now is away from diplomacy and towards U.S. involvement, according to Politico, citing a U.S. administration official. He said moving towards taking out the facilities there. And I think this is what's driving markets down. But just back and forth market this morning. Big range on the upside, big range on the downside. I will pivot to more of a range-based strategy if we continue to have bad luck trading our combines. We're green on our actual, the funded account we traded today, so it's not the end of the world. But we'll see how it goes. I feel like it's going to be steady until the Fed meeting, then bearish. Too much uncertainty. Yeah, I think we might have like big range but sideways choppiness, if that makes sense. And so we're taking this opportunity to swing some on challenge accounts, and if we fail, it's not the end of the world. We got a cushion on our funded account, but I don't like any of this price action enough, especially with my results in the challenge accounts that I've been trading on. I don't like it enough to trade my funded account. All right, so in our challenge account, we actually just got, I'll show you the trade. We kind of bought this dip, but we hit this 22 level. So we'll hold this break even now. So we are green on this now again, but we rejected that 22 level pretty quick. And I'm looking for news this morning, guys. It's a little quiet. I think It's a little boring. But again, in 25 minutes, we got jobless claims, unemployment filings. They also said Russia and the U.S. are in contact about the Middle Eastern conflict. And so I'm showing, again, the movement right now is away from diplomacy and towards U.S. involvement, according to Politico, citing a U.S. administration official source. They're moving towards taking out the facilities. And Russia and the U.S. are in contact about the Middle Eastern conflict as well. So that's the updates in the market right now. All right, so yeah, so people are hearing. There's been some interesting announcements recently. Yeah, so this Topstep link doesn't actually work. If you want to check out Topstep, you just go to their Topstep.com. Topstep, great company. If you want to learn how to day trade, like most day traders lose money. And so it doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders are probably going to lose money. So if you fund your own account thousands of dollars, you're just probably going to look cool. Or no, you're probably not going to look cool. I'm sorry. Trying to look cool in markets. If you fund your own account thousands of dollars trying to look cool, you're probably just going to lose. And so understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. Instead, try Topstep. They give you a 50K demo. They test your skill. You pass the test. They fund you. Base one's $50 a month. You get 50K in funding if you pass it. 90% split. And prior to that split kicking in, you get to keep your first 10K in profit. If you fail, you're out $50. It's the best of both worlds. They paid out hundreds of millions, fund thousands. Some of the best rules in the funding game. And if you use my link, go to TopstepX, you get zero commission. But again, I'm biased because I get paid by them. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. So you want to confirm everything with them. I can't guarantee anything. No. I haven't had any issues with them, easy. In fact, they're really quick, too. I haven't tried on the new dashboard, but I heard the new dashboard's even faster. But I did one a couple weeks ago on the old dashboard, and even on that one, I got my money within like a day or two. So all right, chat. Hey, we got 20 minutes plus until jobless claims data comes out. We'll see what that looks like. FOMC meeting today, huge day. We're still rejecting 22,000, but we're kind of chopping sideways right now in markets. Not a lot of news coming out either. So yeah, at 8:30 we got building permits, housing starts, jobless claims, and more. So a lot of stuff going live. Gold's still testing highs up here. We also have to watch oil. I'm sure oil spiked up a little bit on that overseas news that we just heard. Yeah, oil's still moving up. Honestly, I might start playing oil more. Oh, it's in the description? Oh, it is. My bad, guys. Yeah, I gotta update some of the auto. Like, these are... Like, I'm a partner to Topstep right now, but they got rid of the affiliate program, so the links are different. You just go to Topstep.com. All right, so we're still testing this 22,000. The SOFR rate 4.31, down a little bit for yesterday versus the day before. Yeah, for sure, Ryan. 100%, brother. Yeah, oil spiking up. You can see oil at $73.50 a barrel. Gold pushing up some too. Tesla down to 318s. Still got about 20 minutes left. We got 1,000 people here, so hey, listen, I appreciate you guys. It's the FOMC day, and we got jobless claims. The market's mostly closed tomorrow too. The futures market might be open for a little while, but Tesla at 318s. All right, so we are rebounding back up. Part of me wanted to hold a little bit. All right, so we are rebounding back up. Should I buy this 22,000 level again? I'm thinking about it. We'll start with 5 here, and then add down to 22. I want to give it time and just let it work. There we go. Okay, good. I'll take half of this off just to lock it in. Take another 2/3 of the position off, and then maybe add some back on this retracement. See if we get another spike up into this. There we go. Take that off now. We'll hold the rest break even, or try to. All right, so it doesn't know what to do here. We're going to hold it break even. We're out. So we made a good bid on that trade. We'll see if we can buy a pullback or something like that. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what this is, bro. So sore throat. I cough occasionally, and it feels like my chest is tight, is what it feels like. Nose is stopped up for sure. Could it be postnasal drip from acid reflux? Maybe, but I wouldn't imagine it would cause a sore throat like this. Hey, thank you. Well, I mean, I'm buying a level with multiple confirmations. So we have the 200 exponential here. We've got 22,000 whole dollar level. And we have a pretty significant pullback. So we got multiple things that confirmed here for this trade. And so, again, 200 exponential, 22,000 milestone level, extension on the pullback. I think those three things can, justifiably give you the green light. I'm not telling you what to do. Everybody's different. But yeah. I'm not just blindly buying things, of course. Yeah, and I don't, gold just dumped down too, though. Look at this. Look at gold. Look at that candle here. Wow. Yeah, I don't really see anything else happening, though. Yeah, so look, we're right back down to this 22,000 level. Very sideways here. We got 11 minutes until jobless claims unemployment comes out. So maybe the market's just kind of stabilizing and consolidating ahead of that report. It's very plausible. It's expected at 246, which is a slight contraction from where it was at 248 last time, is what they're expecting. And remember, jobless claims unemployment are how many people are filing for unemployment week to week. So it's a more real-time look at unemployment than just the regular unemployment rate release that we get once a month. Jobless claims comes out weekly. And it's a more real-time look at unemployment. So all right, gold's still up there. The previous closing price of gold, 34.06. We're watching that. We got oil at 73.50, so it's up, extended up on the upside today. So a lot of time left. All right, so rejecting at 22,000. Yeah, maybe allergies. I don't know. I'm not usually allergic to anything, though. So this is weird. And what was strange is, like, yesterday when I would swallow, I felt like I needed to sneeze. I was trying to eat, but every time I would swallow, it was hard to swallow because I felt like I needed to sneeze, if that makes sense. So it was weird. Very strange. All right, chat. We got 8.5 minutes left. Look at the NASDAQ back up here. Very sideways, though. We're not really doing much. Gold started to push towards the previous closing price. Oil has been heading up most of the morning as well. And we have NVIDIA up here. So NVIDIA is sitting at about 144.50. Yeah, we're going to be pausing today. Yeah, I'm not really, Jose, a big options guy, brother. So regarding the Greeks and all that stuff, it's just not something that I'm going to be able to answer with knowledge about, brother. I hope you understand. I'm just not a big options guy. I haven't really. I've traded options before, but not in a big enough way to where I'm like an expert by any means. So sorry, brother. All right, chat, 7 minutes. Yeah, futures are easier. Yeah, all good, Jose. No worries, brother. Good luck. I hope you make money, dude. I really do. All right, so we're, again, very flat. We have 6 minutes left. 6.5 minutes. I'm just talking about in terms of the stock market and the futures market, like the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow is usually what I'm referencing in the poll. Like, are you bullish or bearish on the NASDAQ, S&P, Dow? Was it an in the money call option? All right, so UK Prime Minister Starmer to chair a Cobra meeting today amid concerns that the U.S. is about to enter the conflict, according to the Guardian's Kharar. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this random reactions this morning have to do with the conflict news in the Middle East right now. You can see oil react. You can see gold react. We've had some updates and some stuff going on there that's kind of caused ups and downs in markets. Very difficult to trade this morning. And our actual funded account, we're green. On our challenge account, I think we lost one and then we're green on the other one. So we'll see how it goes. Not the worst morning. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stream regardless, definitely today, the FOMC meeting and jobless claims today. So we're streaming. Yeah, Tesla down a little bit, right? So Tesla at 318s right now. So Tesla, yeah. So big red day for Tesla yesterday. All right, so we're at 2204s, 004s. Look at gold. So gold's testing this previous closing price. This is the level at which it closed yesterday. So gold's testing that previous close. We'll see if it holds there. We're still like straddling this 200 exponential 22,000 level. A lot of this has to do with NVIDIA. You know, AMD has pushed up a lot, almost to 130s. So whether AMD holds is a different story, but it's up to 130s right now. We have Apple sitting at 196, still under 200. That one's interesting. Amazon at 215 still. A lot of stuff pulled back yesterday or went red yesterday, including Tesla, Microsoft. Microsoft was slightly red yesterday, but green, or slightly green yesterday, but red the day before. All right, chat, here we go. We got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We cover every single major breaking economic and market report live right here on YouTube every single freaking day. And so if you want a one-stop shop where you're going to be able to watch all these big market reports, you can just look at the titles to see if anything big is coming out today. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. I don't sell a course, don't even claim to be a good trader. Tell everybody, everything's basically free here. And so if you appreciate that, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. So the jobless claims numbers expected at 246K. 246K. Last time they showed up at 248, so we are expecting a slight decrease in unemployment claims. These are how many people are filing for unemployment. The initial claims are what you want to look at. Yeah, we got 2 minutes, really. A little bit. Yeah, about 2 minutes. We had European CPI show up basically as expected everywhere at 0% month over month, 1.9% year over year, 2.3% for core year over year, and 0% for core CPI month over month. 30-year mortgage rate decreased a little bit to 6.84% versus 6.93% last time. We have housing starts expected at 1.35 million this morning, 1.35 million. We got building permits as well. Jobless claims expected at 246, continuing claims expected at 1.94 million. All right, guys, so 2 minutes left. And then we got the Fed meeting today at 2 p.m. We're going to stream it all live as we always do. We are under these big milestone levels that we were watching, though. Gold's been pushing up, oil here as well. All right, so here we go, a minute and a half. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Hit the live button next to the play button. You can also put it in 2x speed if you want to catch up quick. All right, Chad, we got a minute and 10 seconds. All right, guys, less than a minute. Less than a minute. All right, this timer's a little bit early here, so we still got 40 seconds roughly, give or take. So 40 seconds. All right, you had 30 seconds left, 30 seconds. What's up, Treff? All right, guys, 20 seconds. Ten seconds. All right, 3, 2, 1, and here's the report. Jobless claims ended up, housing starts showed up at 1.256 million, 1.256 million. Building permits showed up at 1.393 million. So both of these actually showed up weaker than expected. Building permits and housing starts. See, I don't see the jobless claim number yet. Okay, there's jobless claims. 245, slightly lower than expected at 245K versus 246K expected. So slightly lower jobless claims. Initial claims. Continuing claims ended up showing up higher than expected, though. But initial claims slightly lower, 245K. 245K versus expected 246. Continuing claims showed, again, 1.945 million versus expected 1.42 million. All right, so that is the market news. Honestly, the market reacted somewhat negatively. Yeah, 245 versus 246 expected. Again, slightly better than expected for initial claims. Continuing claims, worse. Housing starts, weaker. Building permits, weaker. Jobless claims, slightly stronger. Housing starts, weaker. Building permits, weaker. Continuing claims, weaker. So that is the move here. That is what we got. Weaker continuing claims, better than expected, slightly. Initial claims better than last time too. Last time it showed up at 250. We showed up at 245 today. They expected 246. Market still reacted negatively to this though, so that's what it is. But again, we also have the FOMC rate decision. Yep. We rejected 22,000. Are we going to push down here, chat? Yeah, I'm looking at oil. Oil's down a little bit on this report, though. It's starting to move up some, but over the last 2 minutes or so since this report, but it initially reacted negatively. Honestly, and today's report seems a little small versus everything else. So again, remember, guys, we will be back live here at 2 p.m. So we're going to stream into the opening bell, don't worry. But we will be back live as well for the FOMC meeting later today. Stream the whole thing live as it happens. So stick around. Yeah, I mean, this reaction's ultimately pretty small. We haven't really moved much from this. I'll put this data up on screen, but it's pretty small. Yeah, we'll put a timer up pretty soon here for the actual FOMC meeting. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move, although, again, we're very rangy right now. We're not really moving much. Very small, insignificant reaction here for sure. They expected continuing claims at 1.94. We'll see if we hold this 22,000. I mean, we keep moving up and down, over and under to test it, but look at this rebound back up. Let's watch this level here. We're right at the 200 exponential as well. What's up, NQ? What's up, Mr. B? Drop. Michelle. Yeah, NVIDIA is heading up. This might drag the market up with it. Like I said, a lot of the market follows NVIDIA. It's one of the things we watch heavily here. But yeah, I mean, anybody that says we crash after every single economic report usually is kind of a rookie. But sometimes we do, but it's just not as rare. It's not as common as people pretend it is. Four-week average for jobless claims came in at 245. Ugh, dude, I'm not really feeling that, you know. Also, guys, check out Topstep if you want. Topstep gives you a 50K demo. They test your skill with a demo account. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. So limit your risk when you're learning how to day trade. I don't care what course you take, who you follow, who your mentor is. Most day traders are about to lose money. And so you can fund your own account trying to look cool in markets, thinking you're going to be some rich guru savant. I'm telling you, in the first few years, that's probably not happening. You're probably instead just going to lose a bunch of money. And so limit your risk. Topstep's base one is $50 a month. If you pass it, you get a $50K funded account. If you fail it, you're out $50 a month. It's not the end of the world. That's a much more reboundable loss than losing a 5, 10, 20, 30 grand account like most new traders end up doing. And it makes sense to hedge this way when you're learning how to trade. Don't be stubborn. Most day traders lose. And Topstep pays out millions of dollars to their traders. They fund thousands of traders. Learning how to trade with something like this where you're risking something but not the full extent of everything else just makes sense. And if you want to check it out, link is pinned at the top of the chat. You can also see the link in the description. Yeah, well, my throat hurts. My throat hurts is what it is. Like, my throat is... All right, look at this rejection here. So we're so sideways right now. It's hard to trade, to be honest. Look at this red candle, though. We did reject something. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stream today. I'm going to stream the FOMC meeting for sure. Look at this red action here. Let's see if there's any news to justify it. I don't really see anything here to cause this big reaction here. I'm still looking, though. Hold on. Look at this red show up. At least we're getting some volatility here. Yeah, I don't really feel good. All right, look at this red action showing up in markets right now. So we are dropping. We're at 21,982s. Ugh. Yeah, I'm just not really. So I see some news that says Bayview Asset Management is going to take Guild Holdings private in a $1.3 billion deal. Yeah, I mean, look, anybody that... I didn't call people amateurs for saying the market was going to drop. Let's just clarify it really quick. I mean, I know my guy just created another account, and he's probably just trying to troll. But I called people on Amazon amateurs for thinking that every economic report we have to crash. Right? That's a rookie mindset. It really is. That's something that doesn't happen a very large percentage of the time. And it usually means you just don't pay much attention to economic reports to understand it. And the only economic reports you do watch are the ones in which the market crashes. And so you kind of think everyone's going to cause a crash, which is just not the case. I would say the amount of times that the NASDAQ has dropped over 10% from an FOMC meeting in the last 5 years is maybe one. Maybe it's more than that. I'll have to go back and check. But, you know, there's a difference between saying, hey, the market's not going to crash, and me saying, hey, the market's going to go up. And you might want to look up that difference, sir. Just a heads up. It's all love, but you might want to look up that difference. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I don't know what this is, bro. I've had a sore throat for days and days. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just acid reflux. But whatever this is, I don't know. Yeah, and look at that. The market's right back up. Yeah, the market's probably going to be sideways today, guys. I mean, let's just look at it. Unless we get some bad conflict news overseas, the market's probably going to be sideways. It's the day of the FOMC meeting. Even the jobless claims report had a pretty muted reaction. Like, we didn't really move that much. Again, though, I'm not an investment professional. I might have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Don't copy me. But, yeah. All right, so we're starting to head down. We're at 21,988. But we're still pretty sideways. I mean, like, if we zoom out here, you see the true nature of the market today, which is this, you know. Like, people are going to act like this is a crash, but it's not. And when you zoom out, this is the real nature of the market today. Big range, but sideways trend, you know. Very neutral, sideways, not really doing anything. So, and I think that just comes from apprehension ahead of the FOMC meeting. Like, generally, when we're looking at the FOMC meeting, people take less big positions leading up to it because they don't know what Powell's going to say, how it's going to influence the market, and so they take a more apprehensive approach to it. Yeah, I'm trying to stay, you know, out of the market with my funded account. I'm actually green in my funded account, but I don't think this is very predictable. I mean, you could buy this and try to see a rebound at the top of the range. You could short it to the bottom here. You know, you could try to attack this range here. But again, we're literally right in the middle of that range now, so I just can't really do much. I gotta wait. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, markets are closed half days tomorrow, I think. Oil rejected at the previous closing price, so it went green on the day for a little while and then rejected. Nvidia is just sideways too. Yeah, so tomorrow, equity and interest rate futures trading is going to stop at 12 noon Central Time or 1 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Positions, according to some sources, positions are going to be closed by 11:45 Central or 12:45 Eastern. Sorry, I got a cough drop in right now. Yeah, we're looking at gold. We're looking at oil. I mean, gold is over 3,400s. But even gold over the last, like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the last, like, 20 minutes, gold has gone mostly sideways. Looks like a McDonald's sign. So, not a lot right now. All right, so we're heading towards, I mean, maybe if we get down to like 950, I might buy some and attack the range. But for now, this is very small. Teleperformance, which is TEPFP, is launching a strategy to accelerate its transformation and growth, looking to return to shareholders around 50% of net FCF by dividends and buybacks. Yeah, just a hyped up, fluffy kind of article here. All right, we're at 73.50s on oil. Part of me kind of wants to buy the dip. It just depends on if we think we're going to get uncertainty and more stuff overseas. If so, maybe the oil dip, expecting it to go green on the day, is plausible. At the same time, though, we've already had a lot of increases in oil recently. You can see since June started the rise of oil, and the price of oil goes up when things in the Middle East are uncertain, right? So as things get more and more uncertain in the Middle East, it's going to make our oil more expensive, because where do we get oil from? The Middle East. And so as uncertainty reigns there, oil price per barrel is going to go up. And that's what you see here starting in June. It was at 59, a little bit low, honestly, at a dangerously low level. And now, really, we're pretty close to the sweet spot for oil. Like, if you listen to what they want for oil, they want it to be about where it's at right now. They don't want it to be too low, that's bad. Too high is bad. They want it to be right, the Goldilocks sweet spot. And we're really right about there now, even though it's not necessarily from good reasons. Yeah, so gold coming back down. It's at 34s. Tesla back up a little bit. Okay, so today's FOMC meeting will be covering the dot plot. The Fed will release an updated dot plot showing each of the 19 FOMC participants' interest rate forecast through 2027. Attention is going to focus on whether the median 2025 dot indicates 1 or 2 rate cuts. It's going to be a huge thing that might influence market direction, down from March's projection of 2 cuts. So this is going to be one of the big stories for today's FOMC meeting, is whether they think we're going to have 1 or 2 cuts this year. The rate decision is at 2 p.m. The press conference is going to be at 2:30. Markets priced in 99.9% chance of a rate pause, so the dot plot drives the narrative. It will provide forward guidance on timing and scale of policy easing this year. Shifting to one cut would signal a more higher for longer hawkish stance, of course. May also spotlight communication strategy tweaks as some Fed officials question the dot plot's precision. But yeah, the dot plot's going to come out today. Market's going to focus on whether we're going to get 2 cuts or 1 cut this year, potentially. And Powell's remarks are going to be closely watched, as they always are. All right, NASDAQ push it up. Here's 22,000. All right, we're back up to 22,000 here. But what happened to this, guys? What happened to this? Crash right here. Apparently, what happened to that crash, guys? Man. Yeah, all the medical stuff just kind of bleeds together, though, Sam. So, I eventually tuned it out. I appreciate you guys, but, you know, I know what I got to do. We got some at-home strep tests, some at-home other tests. I'm going to take about 3 different tests to confirm what this is. If they're all negative, I'm probably just going to wait it out. Try to ease the symptoms. Yeah, worst crash ever. Worst crash I've ever seen right here, guys. You know? And what I mean, like, people get so emotional. If I say, hey, we're probably not going to crash during FOMC meetings, and that makes you emotional, you might be either a gambler or a rookie, you know? Now, you could argue against it and say, hey, this is why I think we're going to crash today because of X, Y, Z, and I'll respect that. Like, that's different. But if you're just yelling crash every single economic report, that's big. I'm trying to tell people this so they understand. So, like, the newer traders here can understand. Don't just buy a bunch of puts every FOMC meeting. You know, I'm not telling you what to do, not an investment professional. Maybe we do crash. But it's not as common as people in the chat, some of them, make it out to be, you know. And a lot of them are just really desperate to be right. So, like, they'll say, hey, the market's going to crash. And then the market drops 0.5%. And they're like, see? And it's like, no, that's not what a crash is. You know, crash is a very specific thing. Really, if you want to be technical, a crash is like 25% or more drop short term. And that's almost certain to not happen today, although anything's possible in markets. It's sarcasm, Cole. Sarcasm, brother. What happened on the 2nd of April? Was that an FOMC meeting? Oh, this is oil. Let me look at the SPY.
I'm assuming you're talking about, that's February. You're talking about this here, that's March. Even this is not a crash, right? Like, if we look at it from a percentage perspective here. I gotta put a daily chart up. April 2nd. So if we look at the open of 555 and the close of 564, and then we look at the open of, here, we can even do 564 to give the biggest percentage here. 564 down to the low here of 536. That is a 4.9% drop in markets, right? So just not a crash. That's nowhere near a crash. A crash is 25% or more, 20 to 25%. It's subjective, but it's definitely not 5. 5 would be like a very, very small correction, which is certainly possible if, like, here's the outcome that, like, if you want to know what might cause a big drop in markets today, it has to do with the dot plot. So if we get projections for less rate cuts this year, the market's probably not going to like that. And so if we reduce the expectation of a rate cut this year from 2 rate cuts, which is what we had last time they did the dot plot, to 1, that's going to probably, and again, I say probably because there's a lot of variance that happens from this. Like, a lot of different outcomes can happen. That's probably going to cause some bearish reactions in markets. Now, is it going to cause a market crash? Almost certainly no. But anything can happen. Jobless claims are already out and the numbers are right here. Yeah, they're going to have the dot plot, the summary of economic projections coin. 100% is big. It was relevant, you know, so we're going to have the dot plot today. Yeah, you see these guys, man, they're like, anybody that pays other people to go to stream and spam their product. I'm not talking about like sponsors of YouTubers. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about anybody that pays spammers that go to other people's streams and just spam promos for their stuff. You should never, ever, ever trust. That's an unethical thing, like, regardless of how good their business is. Anybody that's willing to do that is probably sketchy, and you want to be incredibly careful not to fall for any of that stuff. So if you see somebody at somebody else's streams promoting something else, like, oh, I had a hard time making money until I bought John Signals. John Signals helped me earn $7,000 yesterday with only a $10 investment, you know? Like, just be smart. That's nonsense. Just run away from that, because they're just trying to, they're either trying to scam you or they're super unethical as a business. So be smart. All right, we're sideways right now. Less than 30 minutes until the opening bell. We'll see what we get. Effective federal funds rate stays unchanged, 4.33%. They think they're going to pause today, basically. Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel finalized historic partnership. So I'm seeing this article about U.S. consumers and their assessment of the current financial situation compared with 5 years ago. It fell to 91 points in June, the lowest in 12 years in terms of people's assessment over their financial situation. Over the last 4 years, this specific index has dropped 60 points, almost 40%. And consumers' current financial situation compared to 1 year ago reached one of its lowest levels in 13 years. And so essentially people are pessimistic about their future and finances. Many Americans feel more poor than they did 5 years ago. And again, this is one of the reasons, like, you get a lot of people that just push rate cuts. You get like mortgage people, you get lenders pushing rate cuts, and I get it. The issue really lies in that the real risk is inflation, regardless of what they say. The real risk is inflation. And we've had bad inflation problems over the last 5 years that make people unhappy. And so if we continue to pander really to lenders with low interest rate environments, inflation is going to get worse. If we continue to do quantitative easing, which we're not going to do, hopefully, we're still doing a form of QT. But if we continue to disregard inflation for a strong economy, people are really going to be unhappy. You think they're going to, like, people are really going to be unhappy. The economy can be as strong as it wants. If inflation's worse than it should be, people are going to be unhappy. And prices don't go back down. You basically have to go into little mini recessions to make them actually go back down, and they don't last long. And so once you get high prices, you're essentially stuck with them. And so you got to understand, I know people might be pushing for rate cuts. I know they might be kind of towing the company, like, political line here, and I get it, right? Like, the current president, he wants a strong economy. It's a bragging point for all presidents, right? They want a strong economy, and I get that. I'm not even mad at him for that. But the consequence of a super strong economy right now could be more inflation problems, and that's something I definitely do not want right now. I would much rather us have a weak economy and price stability. And maybe I'm an outlier there. I've just seen prices go up huge amounts in 5 years, and that's why people are unhappy over everything else is inflation. Prices have gone up too much. Because income can get wiped out quick with price rises. It's, I do this sometimes. I'll show you guys this again. But if you got $500,000 savings and inflation stays at 5%, which is a little bit higher than normal, right? But we're just going to show this. Your buying power will get dwindled down massively over time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. In 15 years, you're going to lose over half of your buying power if we maintain a 5% inflation rate, which we're probably not going to do. But still, inflation should be a priority. It's my priority over economic weakness, to be honest. And again, I'm not really big, I don't pick sides politically. I just go by policy. I just don't want inflation to get worse. His name was John Signals. Steve Signals, maybe I should have said. All right, so we're starting to bounce back up. Incredibly choppy. We're still testing this 22,000 level. It's been kind of the top of this range in the NASDAQ here. 25 minutes left until the opening bell, though. We'll see how this goes. Have y'all seen the UFC getting into Jiu-jitsu? Have y'all seen that? Like, the UFC getting into Jiu-jitsu? I don't know how to feel about this. I train Jiu-jitsu. I'm a blue belt, but, it's not the most exciting sport for people. I'm for it, though. I hope they make money, but I don't know. I gotta watch that Ultimate Fighter. Ugh, sorry. My back is hurt too, simultaneous to this throat issue here. Yeah, I feel that, Tiny. I'm sorry to hear. There's about 300 likes. I appreciate you pumping the likes up, Lee. If you refresh the stream, you'll see it. We got about 292 likes, but I appreciate it regardless. Morgan Stanley say they're expecting the dot plot to forecast 2 rate cuts this year. Yeah, I mean, that's probably... Jobless claims were mostly in line. Initial claims were slightly better. Continuing claims were slightly worse, but they were pretty much flat. Have you ever tapped to a white belt? Yes, of course. I just got my blue belt 4 months ago. I think I've only tapped to 1 white belt since then. And the one I tapped to, he was a judo guy. And he's like a friend of mine. His name's Drew. And he was very good. He would tap purple belts. Like this, he came from judo and he already knew his stuff by the time he was a white belt. And he's just very good, very good. Strong, but good technique. His technique's really good. Like if I could survive, he's bigger than me, but it doesn't matter. His technique's better than mine too. But if I could survive a round with him, I'm happy. You know, very good. We have a group of jiu-jitsu friends that, you know, we train with. Yeah, I'm a huge baby when I'm sick, dude, 100%. I mean, I can muscle through it. I'm not like we're gonna stream FOMC today, but I'm not really happy about it, to be completely honest. Like, I'm not really wanting. Like, after I end the stream, I would love to go lay down and not have to get back up. I got some other stuff going on today that I got to deal with, and you know, it's kind of a day, but. Hey, thank you guys. How many affliction shirts do you own? 0. I don't own any of those. I just started trading like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was, but yeah, I mean, we're very flat right now. Like, look, we got a W right here. So we're very sideways. We got 20 minutes into the open. We'll see how that goes. But very flat, very boring. Yeah, U.S. housing. This is an interesting dynamic of today, too. Like, one of the things we saw, housing starts way lower than expected. They came in at 1.25 million. They expected 1.35, and last time they showed up at almost 1.4. Building permits showed up lower than expected as well at 1.93 versus 1.42, and last time 1.422. So lower everywhere for housing data. Yeah, so Japan's Nippon Steel has acquired U.S. Steel, chat. Doug Polk posted this about poker, but it's very true about trading as well. He said, I struggled for a long time to move up in stakes, but the thing that helped me the most was that I never gave up. I am effing resilient. I can get knocked down a silly amount of times, and I'll try my hardest to pick myself back up. Doug Polk, end quote, Doug Polk. Very true for trading as well. You got to just keep on chipping away. You got to condition yourself. And that takes time. Yeah, we got 20 minutes left, 20 minutes. All right, so Texas Instruments plans to invest $60 billion to manufacture billions of foundational semiconductors in the U.S. Investments include 7 U.S. semiconductor fabs supporting 60K new fabs. Right? And some of this is from interest rates, sure, Eric, but it's also from inflation. Like, if it costs more to run a property, what do you think that's passed on to? That's passed on to consumers. That's passed on to renters, you know? If being a landlord becomes more expensive, who do you think pays for it? Renters do. Same with interest rates though, so it's kind of mixed in that regard. All right, so we're back over 22,000 here, chat. Hit the live button next to the play button, Zach. So Zach, hit the live button next to the play button, brother. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're delayed." Jobless, they'll be like, "Jobless claims came out 20 minutes ago, bro." Hit the live button. You're delayed. It's all good. What a red day is coming, maybe. You can't be bearish, could you? Bitcoin to zero. I see some more stuff overseas coming out. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab some of these tests. I have like a strep test I want to take right now. So I'll be right back. Give me. I'm not going to take the test. I'm going to bring it in here so I can take it and run the stream at the same time. So I'll be right back. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, my wife's gonna test me. Hold on. So. All right, yeah, I'm back. Ooh, I'm cold right now, man. I'm at home. The OpenAI CEO, Andy. All right, so again, we're sideways, chat. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA at 144.43. So we got 15 minutes into the opening bell. Yeah, U.S. Steel doesn't have anything on Anacott Steel. Huh?
Just give me a sec to do this.
Okay.
So we don't mess with it.
All right. All right, I asked people, are you bullish or bearish on today's FOMC meeting? 57% are bullish. 43 are bearish. We're still very sideways. I mean, I could short this, but with 14 minutes into the open, I think I'm just going to wait. We're going to try to attack a sideways range here if we can. Nobody understood my Anacott Steel reference. I might just be too old for you guys here, you know. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys. Make sure you guys give me a follow at Beginner Trades. At Beginner Trades. All right, we're gonna do a breakdown on at Beginner Trades. We're gonna basically break down everything before the FOMC meeting. All right, so look at the spike back up. We're at 22:07. We still got 11 minutes left. Yeah, so what's the main story of today's meeting? The dot plot and summary of economic projections is March projection of 2 cuts. Attention's going to focus on whether the median dot plot indicates 1 or 2 rate cuts, down from March's projection of 2. Again, Powell's press conference starts at 2:30. He'll clarify the SEP and dot plot projections. Dot plot projections, not dot plot. Dot plot. You want to listen to Powell's tone because it's going to give forward guidance on timing and scale of policy easing. All right, so it's still climbing higher. Yeah, there's at Beginner Trades is my handle. The new Wall Street movie was good, bro. I like the new Wall Street movie. Everybody hated it, but I liked it. Is the music too loud? I can lower it a little bit if that's better. Yeah, FOMC day, chat. All right, we got 9 minutes left. Ugh.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay. All right.
Love you.
All right. The Anacott Steel reference is from the movie Wall Street. Gordon Gekko essentially buys up. He recognized that somebody is trying to acquire Anacott Steel, and so he buys up a large chunk of shares and then leverages. If they want to complete the buyout, they got to buy their shares from Gekko at a much higher price. Money Never Sleeps is different. It's kind of when Gekko is older and gets out of jail, you know. Amazon up to 215s, 216s. NASDAQ's rising here. Nvidia is basically flat, but look at the NASDAQ pump here, chat. So we're getting some. I'm waiting to take the test. I got to wait for Carol. No, we cover futures here. We cover FOMC decisions, mostly economic reports too. So we cover a lot of different things. It says Canada might produce its first LNG this week from the export site. Yeah, so housing starts, building permits all came in very low today, very low. So I watched so many jiu-jitsu videos on my Facebook that they're now sending me videos in Portuguese. And so it's genuinely a problem. Like 1 out of every 3 or 4 videos I watch is Brazilian. It's in Portuguese. And so I don't know what to do there. All right, guys, so we're starting to head back up. We're at 22.11s here. Watch the 22,000 level. I don't know what to do with this one, but we're watching 22K. No, you didn't lose all your money in U.S. Steel. Not from my understanding. Just look up what happens if you're holding something that's in a buyout. Usually they'll pay you something, but like when X got bought out, they paid everybody a premium. It was like what, like $50 a share or something. So if you were holding U.S. Steel, you probably didn't lose. They'll probably pay you what the closing share price was. Right? Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Yeah, I mean, the last 2 days of the opening bell, we've ripped. Now, yesterday we turned a little bit, though. So we ripped up big, and then we completely turned back down. And so what's today's FOMC expectations? I'm just going to watch for the dot plot update. If they reduce the amount of rate cuts they think we'll have this year from 2 to 1, I think the market's going to react negatively to it because I think the market wants rate cuts. Now, at the same time, you don't really know how the market's going to respond. There's a lot of variance from these things, and so attention is going to be on what Powell says as well, like what JP says during the press conference. It's almost certain pause, but what he says during the press conference is going to influence things. Yeah, but I need a test. Hold on. All right, guys, so we have less than 3 minutes into the opening bell. We got about 2.5 minutes. Gold's still pushing up. It's at 34.12s. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff's going on overseas. I don't think Powell's going to say much about it, though. It might influence their projections, but I don't think he's going to say much about it. Again, we'll see. Yeah, call your broker. I don't know who your broker is, Cosmo, but I would reach out to them. I'm not sure. I can't really answer that. That doesn't have much to do with me. You just want to reach out to them and say, hey, you know. They'll probably credit you the worth of those shares sometime, you know, probably. All right, Apple's decreasing right now. It's kind of dragging the market down. Look at NVIDIA fall too. So NVIDIA just dipped. Maybe could be the MOO, the market on imbalance. All right, we got the opening bell in about a minute and a half. All right, but we're very sideways. We got a little trend here, I think, but it's not really. All right, guys, Microsoft up to 479s. All right, so we're still testing this 22,000 level. We got 45 seconds left. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you fully catch up on stream. Opening bell's almost here. All right, 20 seconds, chat. 20 seconds until the opening bell. All right, guys. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the opening bell. All right, there's the bell. NASDAQ down pretty big at the open. Big dips. SPY dropping down. SPY still technically green on the day, though. NVIDIA at 143.90s here. Look at this retracement back up, though. So SPY dipped a little bit at the opening bell. A lot of this looks to be bouncing. NVIDIA is slightly red. SPY's technically green on the day still. Apple is down a lot, though. Apple dropped to 195.50s before retracing right back up. So I'm going to wait at least 3 minutes. Amazon's pushing up, though, at the open. Look at this retracement candle here. Wow. So we're still trying here. Yeah, there's no delay on the stream. I mean, there might be. There's always, in YouTube live streams, there's usually a 1 to 2 second delay no matter what. Okay. So there's usually a delay, but hit the live button. It probably has to do with your internet. If it's super laggy, it's your internet, not mine. We're not dropping any frames right now. I can check it. Ugh. Carol had to do the throat swab. I hate that one. That one's not fun. All right, NASDAQ is down a little bit, but not very much. Ugh. Ugh. All right, so we are now 2.5 minutes in. We're still a little bit too close to the opening bell for me to want to take any positions here. We got some support right here. We'll try buying this, but very small. Maybe add a little. This is a challenge account, by the way. We're going to play with this at the opening bell. See if we retrace a little bit here. We're basically flat right now. Definitely a riskier trade than I would take in my funded account, but we could try. I'm trying to buy at the like a large dip, but I'll have to wait. We'll see if it can retrace up some here. There we go. Take some of that off. All right, thank you, baby. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, we're down a little bit, but again, this is a challenge account. We're not going to trade our funded account this close. I just want to see if I can find a bottom and get in. I might just kind of risk it on this account. See if we catch a bounce. Let's try. There we go. Nice. Oof. Alright, so we're down a little bit here, but still pretty much flat on the day on this one, but we're gonna have to start cutting it. I don't want to risk too much. Are you checking it? Yeah. Alright. It honestly feels like it might keep dropping more, but it's a challenge account, so like I think I can just add to it and swing for the fences and play around with it. Give you guys some entertainment this morning. It honestly looks like it's gonna keep dropping though. But we'll try.
So far, it's negative.
Which hold on. Okay, good.
But, okay, look, so this one needs to
There we go.
Here.
Alright, so we are now up over 5 on the remaining position here. And maybe we'll add a little bit more.
Okay,
Yeah.
so look, if it stays looking like this, where it's just at the line at the control,
Yeah.
it's negative.
Okay.
So check it again in like 3 minutes.
Okay. There we go.
This strap is negative, I'm pretty positive.
Okay, good. All right, so we're out. I think we made a little bit on this trade. Caught the bounce. Took a little while though.
Yeah, this strap's negative.
Okay. So it looks like everything was negative. Alright, so now we're back down. Do I buy this? Maybe. Let's try. Okay, nice. All right, so nice little trade there. We'll see if we can keep kind of rinsing and repeating this up. Again, check out Topstep. Great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose, right? So you can learn this way when most day traders lose. And if you fail, it's not the end of the world. The base one's $50 a month. And so check them out. It's a beautiful way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose. The futures market, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, the NASDAQ, gold, oil right now. There might be some volatility there. Just a beautiful way to learn. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns. No PDT rule. And Topstep limits your risk when you're doing this. All right, so we're starting to rebound back up here. That dip buy would have worked. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm looking at one of these. I don't know how to read these. There's kind of a line here, though. I have to go check on that. All right, so SPY sitting right at the volume weighted average price. NVIDIA is at 143s. So OpenAI is reportedly starting to sell ChatGPT at a discount, hurting Microsoft, according to the information. Microsoft's down a little bit since the open, but not much. All right, we're at 21,960s here, chat. 21,960s. All right, so NVIDIA trying to get back up. I don't know what I want to do here. We're kind of in the middle range. It's not a big strong line, but there looks like there's a line there. Right? If there's a line, there's a line. We're looking at the flu A one. Let me see it.
I could retest you. You want me to retest?
So this is bad. This means it's the flu. Oh no. Yeah, retest it. Let's get another test in here. Wait, is this the nose one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's better than the other one.
Yeah, but it's got the Q-tips don't have a chemical in them. That's not very good for you.
Yeah, but just get in there. We gotta know now, you know. All right, guys, we're at 971. Lance said he had the flu not that long ago, I think. I don't know how long ago it was, but all right. Yeah, I think they're probably reducing the monthly subscription price of ChatGPT. So we're rebounding back up here. Watch 22,000, chat. Watch 22,000. Oh, guys. All right.
I mean, you don't feel hot though.
Yeah. I don't know, man. All right, I'm on my second flu test. There was a line on the other one, which is bad, but it's a faint line, but there's a line. All right, so now we're coming back down. We tested 980s here, chat, 980s.
Actually, I think I still have some
Tamiflu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want that?
Not right now until this test comes back positive. I'd like to. It doesn't feel like that. Like, I feel bad, but the only real symptom, like, I have cold chills and a sore throat. And so if it is that, the flu, I don't think it's A. It could be one of the more milder versions, I guess. But it doesn't feel like it's one of the bad ones. I know flu A feels like it got hit by a freaking bus. And I don't feel like that right now. I don't feel good.
I know I have some Tamiflu.
I know.
from last time,
Look,
so
let's do the test first.
we got it. Remember when because Maddie got it? That's why we're doing it. I would just take some.
Yeah. All right, we're at 21.97s right now, chat. 21.97s. I'm sorry if I'm talking about, like, I just got to figure this out. We're covering the FOMC meeting today regardless of anything else, so don't worry. Yeah, because here's the first one.
Okay, so 10 minutes.
There's definitely a line there. And there's not a line on anything else.
Let me see.
But there's definitely one. But it says A, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Alright, so 10 minutes.
All right, 10?
Yeah,
All right.
the timer.
Yeah, it'll just be at 55. All right, 10 minutes, guys. All right, NASDAQ still pumping up. Here's the 200 exponential. It's at right around 22,000. Yeah, we're live streaming the meeting regardless. Yeah, we're going to be on for 2 p.m. no matter what. So don't worry. We're covering it. The biggest story of the day is the dot plot updated summary of economic projections, in which they're going to look at, they're going to look at how many rate cuts we're going to do this year. All right, so the Indian trade minister says India is currently negotiating 9 trade deals, including the European Union. I might short this here, though. Like, we'll try shorting this here. We're above 22K. Yeah, I don't need to take that right now. Not unless we actually have it. I need a second confirm test.
Alright, well, we have enough for you to do it.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
And I'm gonna take some Tamiflu too if it is positive. 'Cause I
Yeah.
drank after you yesterday.
Yeah, that's probably the right move. All right, so we took 30 or 60% of this position off. We're still going to hold the last 30. All right, that's good. Take a little bit more off here. Cut it. Small little steady gains today. I think it makes sense. Yeah, the meeting's in like 4 hours. Yeah, the meeting is in. We're gonna start streaming in like 3 hours, but yeah. Hey, thank you, Tiny. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you guys being here. I mean, we're here, you know. If anybody that watches this, anybody that's watched this stream for the last few years, y'all know I'm gonna stream regardless. I streamed from the hospital one time. I had to spend overnight at the hospital. I didn't have anything else to do, so I live streamed from the hospital. So we're streaming. No, don't worry. Tesla is up a lot this morning. It's up from 319s to 322s today. So Tesla's rising here. The chat GPT discount ranges from 10 to 20%, they say. All right, so U.S. Steel ceases trading on the New York Stock Exchange as Nippon Steel finalizes the takeover. So it looks like the takeover's not done, but they're finalizing it now. See, if this one says negative, we're going to have to do another one.
I'm going to have to go get some. I have to go get more.
We don't have any more?
No, it'd be better if you get different results to get a different brand.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it also has to do with how deep he got in there, you know?
You were the one who did the swabs.
Yeah. All right, so look, we're retesting that 22,000 level. I still kind of want to short this, but it also kind of looks strong. So look at 22,000 hold. If someone offered you $10,000 not to stream Fomc, it would honestly be tough. I'd probably still stream it, realistically, just because $10,000 isn't going to change my life. And, yeah. Apple up to 196. So Apple's rising. Nvidia's rising as well. It's at 144.30s. See, the second test is negative. Weird. Right. AIDA. All right, so we're right at 22,000. Nvidia at 144.30s. AMD retracing back up. Apple's moving up. Amazon's moving up. Tesla's been up all morning. Microsoft's rebounding some here, so it does look strong. If we take a look at oil, oil's at $74 a barrel. Technically green on the day now. Lucid, man, I haven't heard of that company in a while. How's Lucid? Not doing good, huh? Is that $2 a share? Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't have enough buyers, bro. I've been telling people this, dude. Like, there's only been a couple instances in which I'm like, hey, I should start a short report. But there were a couple sectors where I was just like, that sector's not going to hold. One of them was EVs outside of Rivian and Tesla. So if you're an EV brand that's not attached to a legacy automotive brand, like Toyota or Honda or something like that, if you're an EV brand that's not attached to those, that is not Tesla or Rivian, and even Rivian's a little unstable, I would say. like, you don't have the customer base you need to succeed here. Not enough people want that. You don't have enough people that are interested in buying that. And so when you have the really obscure brands like Lucid or Mullen, you know, or what's the other one? It's Lucid, Mullen, NKLA. When you got these brands that nobody really wants, the likelihood that they're going to succeed as a stock, at least short term, is very low, very low. And I think this is a very easy thing for people to look at, and it's very self-evident. Wish I would have shorted it when I had this thesis though 3 years ago, you know. Hey, thank you for the dono, brother. I appreciate you, Ali. Thank you, bro. I don't know how much this is, but I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. That is $5. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, sir. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of these, right? Again, if you're an independent EV maker outside of Rivian and Tesla, you don't have the customer base. Nobody, like, look, if people are going to buy an EV, they're going to go to two companies right now. They're going to go to Rivian, or they're going to go to 3 potential sectors of EVs. Okay, is what I'll call it. They're going to go to Tesla, Rivian, if they don't like Tesla, and then if they don't like any of those two, they're going to go with like a Prius, you know. Like, they're going to go with like a legacy automotive brand that's been around a long time, that has the infrastructure and support. They're not going to go with Lucid. They're not going to go with Mullen. They're not going to go with NKLA. They're not going to go with a lot of these brands. And again, at least the percentages that they will is pretty low. It's just not very probable. Yeah, this one's negative. But honestly, if we got one positive test, you know, false negatives are more common than false positives, I think.
I gotta run some errands. I'll pick you up another one when I'm out today.
Is Maddie up?
No, not yet.
All right.
Because I gotta get Dad some stuff too. So.
Huh?
I gotta get Dad some stuff too, and I gotta go buy more food.
Okay. EV charging is going to get better. Yeah, but Tesla was one of the first, which is a huge edge. If you know business, you understand being first is important. It's not the most important. It might be the most important. But if you're first, or at least close to first, if you get in early, that's important. Yeah, so look, we rejected at 25. See, we're starting to come back down now. Yeah, I mean, but regardless of whether certain people buy them, Juan, the question isn't whether some people buy them. It's whether enough people buy them to justify the expenses that they're making, you know. And I think Lucid probably, like, there's Neo maybe. It's hard to tell with Neo, but a lot of these have the same trajectory in terms of trend. All right, so the president says, quote, if the Fed would lower rates, we would buy debt for a lot less, end quote. President just announced that. Yeah, he wants Powell to cut rates. We're not going to cut rates today. But we'll see about the summary of economic projections and the dot plot and see what that says regarding future outlook regarding rate cuts. That's the big thing to pay attention to today. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here a little bit early today, chat. We'll be back in 3 hours for the Fed meeting. All right, so we will be back in 3 hours for the Fed meeting. Don't worry. Again, check out Topstep if you haven't already. We appreciate you guys. And, yeah, just be ready. Again, FOMC meeting in 3 hours. We're going to start that stream pretty soon, in a couple hours. So just be ready here, chat. Be ready. All right, guys. Yeah, check out Topstep if you want to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. And the base one's $50 a month. It's not the end of the world if you lose. If you pass it, you get a $50K funded account, 90% split. I'll see you guys a little bit later in a couple hours. So we got about 3 hours and 2 minutes left until this starts. If you want to check out Topstep, I'll put the link up. But have a great day, guys. We'll see you guys a little bit later. Good luck. Be ready. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I'm going to go take a nap before this meeting for sure. I'll see you guys later.